Hello whiskey lovers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. During this beautiful spring day I'm going for a walk, and I brought with me a whiskey from America. Because a few weeks ago I had visitors from America, my friend John and his friend Mary Angela, who came over from the States, and he brought me a couple of bottles. Not only the Oban 18 years old, which is US exclusive, but also the Lagavulin Offerman Edition 2 on Guinness casks, again a US exclusive. But he also brought this, a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, the Wise Man's Bourbon Kentucky Owl. And it says here on the bottle, Confiscated 1916. I'm sure this wasn't confiscated in 1916, of course, but it was in fact, it's an homage to the noble experiment, Prohibition, when in fact every cask of bourbon from the Kentucky Owl was in fact confiscated. Anyway, they brought it with them and they said, well, Mark, don't expect too much of this. This is just a little something that we would like you to try. The Kentucky Owl is the bottler. I'm not sure exactly where it is being produced. There is no Kentucky Owl distillery at this point. So if you know, put it in the comments. I think Heaven Hill maybe, Jim Beam, I'm not sure. But if you know, please, in the comments, enlighten me about this Kentucky Owl. A little something, they said, and it's bottled at 48.2% ABV, which is 96.4 proof for you American viewers over there. The Confiscated, the Kentucky Owl, a Kentucky straight bourbon. Look at that color. That's typical for bourbon, very coppery, and that's of course because everything in America matures on virgin oak, so which imparts quite a bit of color indeed. Right, so like I said, 48.2% ABV, the Kentucky Owl on the nose. Well, to be honest, this is quite a complex nose in my opinion. I've had quite a few bourbons, and at first, when you're not really attentive, they all seem a bit alike, but if you take your time for it and you approach it with caution and attentiveness, then this is blueberries, baked apples, sprinkled with some cinnamon, some caramel, some leather as well, and a nice touch of wood smoke, and some rind-clawed plums, those little green gauges you call them in English. This is actually quite pleasant. And a tiny wee bit complex, John. Let's be honest, this is not just a little something. Nice on the palate. Nice and oily, almost creamy. And on the one hand, it's a bit sweet, as all bourbons are wont to be. That's what you would expect from a bourbon, sweetness. But in this case, on the other hand, it's also very fruity on apples and blueberries, and even some plums, some rhubarb liqueur. There's a fine continuation of the nose, but it is supplemented with some light brown sugar and some bakery herbs. It's quite spicy, in fact, but very pleasant again. And I have to say, it's a lot better than many of the bourbons I've tried so far. This is a beautifully balanced bourbon, in my opinion. On the finish then. The finish is long and spicy, satisfying, with a little bit of candied ginger at the death. Wow, a little something my ass. Oh, did I say that out loud? This is very pleasant and actually a bit of a complex Kentucky straight whiskey, in my opinion. So thank you, John. Thank you for bringing this, and Mary Angela as well. And considering the fact that I consider you, John, to be a wise man, it's only fitting that you brought me the Wise Man's Bourbon. And that's all for this Whiskey Rambling, and I hope to see you at one of Mark's Whiskey Ramblings real soon. And until then, may the bourbon be with you.